shot? Okay. All right. Just and rolling and you can get going.
Okay, stand by and cell phones off. And we're rolling.
But first, if you'd introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Miles Coon. I am the founder and director of the Palm Beach Poetry Festival.
So tell me a bit about the festival. This is the 10th year.
This is the 10th year. We started in 2005, even before we became our own 501c3 charitable corporation. We arranged to have it done through Lynn University and a small nonprofit organization that essentially handled the finances for us. That was the first year. There were only 4 featured poets that year and 4 workshops. A tremendous, wonderful group of 4 featured poets, however, Billy Collins, Sharon Olds, Tom Lux, and Patricia Smith. And that sold out. I mean, every workshop seat was filled, even though we were totally unknown. So then we formed our own 501c3 charitable organization. And since then, we've grown into the festival this year, which includes 9 workshops, each with 12 participants, as many as 3 auditors. Folks are coming from all over the world to study with our fabulous faculty poets. We had participants from the UK, from Peru, many from Canada, including Vancouver, British Columbia. You can't travel much further from there in Canada. And even on the West Coast, we have about 7 or 8 from California, 3 from the state of Washington, Oregon, and all points in between. And of course, Florida is our most populous represented state at the festival in terms of the participants and auditors. But it really is a gathering together of folks who are passionate about reading poetry and writing poetry. And our hope is that local poets and the members of the public who see so many wonderful people gathering together here may realize that if they haven't taken poetry into their lives, perhaps it's time they should.
And why are you affiliated? Are you?
Oh, well, you know, from the time I was a young teenager, terribly frustrated by my lack of female companionship, and moved into my young dating years. I found that the lines of William Butler Yeats would work much more effectively than my own. And so I've always read a lot of poetry, never thinking I'd ever write any. But I was in business for 30 years, and when I sold my business, I found myself writing short stories. It's a strange story. I was kept on as a non-executive chairman, there to advise the people who took over the business, except no one sought my advice. So I was sitting in my office, doing nothing but writing, and the stories kept getting shorter and shorter until it came to me that, gee, they wanted to be poems. So that's when I began to seriously write poetry, and I became a workshop junkie. I traveled around all over the country taking poetry workshops, and finally found myself under the tutelage of Thomas Lux, who was teaching at Sarah Lawrence College. And I said to him, Tom, you think I should go for an MFA? You know, I'm a little gray around here. And he said, Miles, why not? Give it a shot. And so, thanks to his encouragement, I started back in school. I mean, I got my LLB degree from Harvard Law School, and I hadn't been back in 35 years to school. And I started at Sarah Lawrence, matriculating for my Master of Fine Arts degree in poetry writing. And they were the 4 happiest years of my life, I really think. I fell in love with 7 different women at Sarah Lawrence. Fortunately, my wife did likewise. And the friendships I made during that period of time have been tremendous. In fact, so many of my classmates from Sarah Lawrence are here at the festival working in different capacities, including faculty members, my own classmates who are teaching manuscript conferences here at the festival. Sarah Lawrence, in fact, is sending a scholar to the festival each year, which I love that idea, that they're picking someone, an outstanding MFA student, to send down here at Sarah Lawrence's expense to participate in the festival. And this year, his name is like a poem itself, Nicholas Nicodemus. I mean, it's tremendous.
So what do you hope the attendees walk away from this?
Well, you know, the writers who come here to study with in workshop, I hope they come away with a sense of improvement in their writing, that they have, in fact, in some way learned enough to revise their poems more objectively, and in the case of those who are in workshops that seek to generate new work, to come away with drafts of poems that they will work on. And over the, you know, after the festival is over, we send out online surveys, and every year the feedback we get has been extraordinarily positive. And it's interesting because over 75% of the people who participate in the workshops respond to the survey, which is a very high percentage. And they're all very, very positive. When we choose our faculty members, we try to find poets who are not only critically acclaimed, but are also excellent teachers. I have an advisory board that helps me in that regard, and word of mouth is tremendous in the world of poetry. So finding really wonderful poets to feature at the festival, I think, is really the key to the whole thing working.
And why this venue? Why Palm Beach?
Well, before the festival began, I would travel down to Key West. I attended the Key West Literary Seminars for many years. It's a wonderful organization. They do great work. There was a private workshop, not private, but it was a very small workshop, usually featured four poets. I traveled there. And it takes 5 hours to get from here to Key West. And I missed Sarah Lawrence. I mean, I really missed being involved in workshops and being around poets. I love it so much. So very selfishly, I decided here we are in Palm Beach. I mean, we're equidistant between Palm Beach International Airport and Fort Lauderdale Airport. And yet there's nothing going on really for poetry. And so it just felt like if I could pull it off, if I could start a festival, that we have a lot of things going for us here. And that's pretty much why we did it.
And the venue itself? Just talk a little bit about the venue itself.
The venue. Well,
why you have it here.
Okay. Well, Old School Square, now named the Delray Beach Center for the Arts at Old School Square, has been our partner for the past 9 years. And I swear to you, I walked into the place for the first time and felt like I was home. There is the staff, the people, their commitment to the community, I think, is second to none. And everyone who works there, when we come in to do the festival there, we take every inch of workshop space they have. We have 8 classrooms that we use. We use the Crest Theater for event after event. We use the Vintage Gymnasium. In fact, one of the classrooms is in the Cornell Museum. And they are so dedicated to our success. I really don't know how we could have done it without them. And Joe Gilly and Peggy Murphy and Melissa Carter are all just in our corner, and I'm very, very grateful to them. And then, of course, the city of Delray Beach is a miracle because our participants can walk from the festival right down Atlantic Avenue. They can find a restaurant for every budget. There are art galleries. There's always something lively going on. There's music. It's a lively community and very alive. And for the poets at the festival, it's wonderful to be able to satisfy their needs for food quickly, because we have a pretty crowded schedule. For our faculty members, they stay here at Sunday House, and we've welcomed them here for, I guess it must be 7 years now that we've been doing this. I think it's kind of a unique, gorgeous little resort, and I think that the faculty members, well, I know that I want the faculty members to be treated the way they deserve, and I think that they feel that way. I think they feel that this is a really special place. And word of mouth, it gets around, you know, that we don't skimp when it comes to taking care of our own.
Great. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Nice and simple. Don't go too far because you're wired there. So.
Okay.